Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. Today, the first of two Chelsea news videos. The way that I want to do these news videos now that transfer season is in silly mode, silly season, we've already been involved in a saga before the transfer window is even really kicking on. Pochettino doesn't really start work until the 1st of July, but behind the scenes, Chelsea are apparently trying to buy minority stakes in football clubs who are selling us players that we want, and Paris Saint-Germain are threatening to send letters, apparently, to Sporting Lisbon to try and figure out what is going on here. And I want to talk about whether or not Chelsea, if this is an approach that we are going to be looking to take. We've understood in the first year of Todd Boehly's reign that a multi-club model, which basically sees Chelsea's owner invest either big portions or minority portions of funds into other clubs across Europe to basically act as both a funnel going upwards towards Chelsea and away from Chelsea for loan players for development reasons. I want to talk about the positives and negatives of this one, but before I do that, this comes from Adam Crafton, who's a reporter from The Athletic. The Athletic is one of the more reputable sources of information that I look for when it comes to if I'm going to get excited that I think a transfer is going to happen. There are certain journalists, The Athletic being a publication that is one of them, there are certain pages that I believe in more so than others. We're going to go through these tweets. Before I do that though, please be sure to go and check out the Telegram, link at the top of the description. In the month of June, I'm giving away a signed Lampard shirt and 2 VIP Platinum tickets to Chelsea's first home Premier League game of the season. And if you're not in the Telegram, you can't win it. I'm just going to be picking at random one person to win 2 tickets for that first game. Link at the top of the description. So there is a small thread here from Adam Crafton. We're going to go through it. I'm going to give my thoughts as we do. Sources close to dealings between Chelsea and Sporting deny a minority stake in the Portuguese club was discussed in relation to the transfer, but PSG intended to write to Sporting for answers and escalate matter to UEFA until Chelsea pulled out on Sunday evening. PSG's draft legal letter cited UEFA rules that forbid one club from owning shares and securities in another while participating in UEFA competitions, and expressed concern that commercial leverage such as a stake could be used to influence a transfer. There's a multitude of different angles that we can approach this from here. The one that first sprang to mind when I saw this is PSG. I believe PSG, Chelsea Football Club, had a bad season. PSG won the league, didn't win the Champions League, but I could argue that PSG are probably just as, if not more worried about where their club is heading than maybe Chelsea Football Club are. I think PSG will look at the fact that Messi's going to leave, Neymar apparently wants to go, Mbappe, it's simply a case of how much money can PSG afford to pay him to keep him there as long as possible before he finally makes that move for the benefit of his own career. PSG, in my opinion, are a club in decline. They're a club who have had all of this money come in from Qatar, and they've had one goal, and that is, well, 2 goals. One, just keep on winning the French league, because everyone knows we're going to do that anyway. Goal number 2, become European champions, lift the European Cup, and finally put PSG on a pedestal that is comparable to your Barcelonas, your Real Madrids, your Juventus, your Inters, your ACs, your Chelseas, your Liverpools, your Uniteds, maybe even your Cities next weekend. The list goes on, but PSG aren't there. PSG aren't even that close. They've had as many European finals, I think, as Tottenham Hotspur, and we know how I like to talk about them. So part of me thinks as though, okay, there might be rules that Chelsea might not have been aware of when it comes to potentially trying to buy a stake of Sporting Lisbon. Chelsea have wanted to go, with Todd Boehly as the owner, down the path of a multi-club model now for a while. In my head, this makes sense. As I said at the start of this video, it can act as like a funnel for Chelsea want to buy all of these brilliant young players such as Kendry Páez, the Ecuadorian who's now played in the Under-20s World Cup, was brilliant for Ecuador, just got his first call-up for the senior team. Chelsea have spent 20 million euros on a player born in 2007. This is the kind of conversation Chelsea are in. We can spend big money on players that haven't even played professional minutes of European football yet. That is the kind of level that Chelsea are operating on. We know with the size of the squad we had this season just gone, many of those players are of a very young age. Chelsea want to look when it comes to the future in terms of investing in these great players. Chelsea have looked at the French league. I think we were rumoured to want to have a stake or to buy out Strasbourg or something in France. And Todd Boehly's also been looking in Portugal, working close with Jorge Mendes, football agent, one of the big agents in football. And he's advised Chelsea to, there's a lot of good talent coming up right now in Portugal. So if you want to make your money go further and you want to help Chelsea develop for the future, buy a stake in a Portuguese club. Send some of your loanies there. Use this as a scouting pool for the future of your investments so that you don't have to every single summer go out there and try and spend 80 million euros on a flipping Ukrainian talent who's not really done anything since he joined. See where I'm going with this? I think moving forward, having a multi-club network connected to Chelsea Football Club with our owner at the pinnacle and at the top of this, I do think there's a lot of benefits to it. We've seen it with the Red Bull model. Man City have also been dabbling in this as well. And these are models that are seeing success. And I think when it comes to longevity, when it comes to looking at the long-term future, I absolutely think this is going to be okay. But in this case, I certainly think a lot of whether or not what Adam Crafton is saying here is 100% true, because as we move in, Chelsea pulled out after meeting the release clause. They say because they felt the salary offer from PSG was too high, PSG insists the player will be paid 3.4 million euros annually, and Chelsea's offer was higher. But reports in Portugal claim PSG's offer was higher. This tells us a lot we need to know right now about the way that football reporting is being done. Many people are more than happy to put on social media, put in their publications slightly earlier than the most reputable journalists in the hope that they can be seen as the ones to break the news. In Portugal right now, regarding this Ugarte deal, with Ugarte being one of the most sought after players playing in the Portuguese league, it is absolutely no surprise to me that reports coming out of Portugal were trying to break this news as early as possible, trying to be the informers to the footballing world. But at the same time, there's a lot going on here between Chelsea and PSG. Because Chelsea pulled out, PSG did not escalate to actually sending the letter to Sporting, but a sign of the growing tension between PSG and Chelsea after previous row over Ziyech in January. To me, to summarise everything that we've said in the first 8 minutes of this video, but to also look forward into how we can portray this as Chelsea fans about these new owners, if they were looking to buy into Sporting Lisbon, but UEFA rules cite that you can't be playing in European competition and have a stake in another club in that competition, this is a bit of a worry moving forward with a multi-club network, because even if Chelsea aren't going to be competing in UEFA competitions next season, the goal has got to be to get there again soon, right? And Sporting Lisbon will probably be in and around European UEFA competitions for the foreseeable future, the way that they have been in the past. So I think there's definitely a lot more that we're going to hear about this, and probably a lot more that has bypassed my brain. But at the same time, PSG, at the moment, we're talking about PSG still being fuming about Hakim Ziyech. I don't think for 1 second that Chelsea would have pulled out of this deal without 100% confirmation that PSG had offered double, if not nearly triple, what Chelsea had offered Ugarte in salary. If we did pull out because we were a bit worried about this letter that was never actually sent, what does that say about all of these new people that Chelsea have employed at this club to make sure that we have got the best brains in football working on these deals, working on scouting, working on the players we need to bring in, working on communications between Chelsea and other clubs that we're trying to buy and sell from? And two, it says to me that Chelsea here might have lost out to PSG by being outwitted due to very shallow threats. And that is a concern to me. I don't know if I've maybe looked into this not enough or a bit too much down the speculative side of things, but you guys have seen the tweets that I've put up on the screen from Adam Crafton of The Athletic today. For Chelsea to lose out on Ugarte when he's Pochettino's #1 target, supposedly, is very worrying. I also do want to say that throughout the course of this transfer window, I'm going to keep an eye on where all these reports are coming from. And I've never claimed to be a journalist. I simply give my opinions on what the journalists report, and I try and look forward to what this could look like between these new players in a Chelsea shirt, what it could look like in a Pochettino starting 11 next year. That's my role. My role isn't to break the news. I talk about the broken news, or the breaking news. That makes sense. So don't shoot me here. I'm not the messenger. I'm kind of am the messenger. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, at this point, Chelsea have lost Ugarte. It's here we go. He's become a PSG player. But over the course of time, throughout this transfer window, I'm sure the truth will prevail about the real reasons why Chelsea pulled out of this deal on Sunday. Was it, okay, fine, PSG are offering 10 million euros? Was that ever true? How much is the guy getting paid? Let's just wait and see, shall we? But in today's later on video, we're going to talk in a lot more details about plenty more Chelsea transfers, incoming, outgoing, and I'll see you guys in that video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this one, subscribe if you are new, Telegram links down below. Come on, you Blues.